questions to ask, and then we have the beer list and
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah.
Nice. We're live.
We also got we also still have the bar bracket technically too.
The bar bracket.
Yeah, the one from Friday beers as well that we still technically have to finish. I would say. Is it? Do we have to finish it, or can we just leave it open ended for
Well, the
anyone to make
easy answer is we get to finish it.
Valid point. All these years, I still never get the get and have to right. Always.
Welcome to Thoughts on the Bench. Greg's an idiot. I
Why am
also,
I?
Josh, full trend. What? Why are you an idiot? I
Why
don't
am I
know.
an idiot?
I thought that the camera I'm seeing, Josh, was going to be the camera until I just looked and like it's been a while, huh?
It has been a minute. You should have seen me setting this shit up. I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, wait a minute. I have to do like this false camera for Derek to see us, and then like, yeah, it's fucked.
Yep, and
I,
can't be on there because the zoom. And yep,
I mean,
fun stuff.
thankfully, I did ship you like 4 or 5 cameras originally, so I think so. At least
It's
you had
true.
plenty. So at least you had plenty. To
Yeah,
work
Yep.
with.
and it only costs you
$1,000 of shit.
Yeah,
My bad.
$1,000. My favorite part about that, now that we can joke about it, is that Greg just sent it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Didn't,
sent
didn't
it.
ask.
Greg said, "I was told to send these."
What do
Beep
you mean
boop beep up.
I wasn't like told. I wasn't told. I volunteered to get everything.
No, no,
you
no. But
sent
what I'm
me.
No,
saying
no,
is,
no.
brother, like a payment plan would have been nice.
Oh well, in fairness, what happened at the time was I didn't know how much I was gonna get, like charged for that because I asked Steph's husband because he worked at FedEx like how much do they like usually charge something like that, and he kind of gave me like an estimate, and then when I actually like shipped it, it was like way more than that estimate was. And I
Totally
was
get
like,
that.
what?
But
Yeah.
when I get that, but when you get there,
Mm-hmm.
there's like a person that works for FedEx.
There were like 2 or 3 people
Yeah.
behind the desk that
Yeah.
like when I gave them the materials and stuff, they're like logging it, and then they gave me the price, and I almost,
Totally fine.
and I felt my knees get limp go limp at that
Yeah.
point. So
You're
yeah,
allowed to at that point say, "Wow, that's more than I anticipated."
I know, but
Fuck it, let's go. I like it.
yeah, it was kind of like I knew we technically had to get everything together and situated, and I also believe we were under a deadline to get it out of the room, so I just kind of was like, okay,
Nope, these are different times.
yep, different times.
All right,
Nice try,
3,
Nice
2,
try.
1, action. I could use a drink. Greg, what are you drinking?
I am drinking Prairie Artisan Ales beer that Josh gave me. It is a cinnamon pecan bomb. That is a stout with vanilla, cacao, chilies, cinnamon, toasted pecans, and coffee. A whopping 13% beer. So this is going to be a very fun show for me for the next couple of hours.
Josh?
I have a Dunkel going. I don't know
Okay.
where it's from,
Okay.
but it's heavy and high percentage.
Nice. And I got the IPA from Saisons.
Ooh.
IPA. Love it.
This
All
beer
right.
is dangerous, by the way. I just drank it. It is smooth as hell.
Good.
Very
So,
smooth. Also
Greg,
very cinnamony as well.
cinnamony.
Cinnamon.
Greg is in Oklahoma.
I am in Oklahoma, where the wind goes sweeping down the plains.
Has he left the apartment yet, Josh?
Once.
No, more than once. Yesterday.
What'd you do?
Okay, so he arrived.
Mm-hmm.
And
So you
then-
didn't leave.
No.
Do you know how the word leave works, Greg?
No.
Technically, we did leave the house yesterday for like a couple minutes because Anastasia was craving ice cream.
Yeah.
Oh, true. We
Yeah.
did go get ice cream.
And
yesterday.
also,
He's right.
in fairness, we could have gone to the Thunder game last night for $4, but we decided not to do that.
Fair.
Yeah, we did.
Anastasia wasn't feeling well. We wanted her to come with us.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
she's lame.
yeah. But it has been a good jolly time so far in Oklahoma. It's a lovely area, I would say. A lot of
How's the weather?
very windy, honestly. At least when I was here. But like it's funny when you like look outside, it not a cloud in the sky. It looks like it should be like set 80 or something like that, but when you walk out it's deceptively
Yeah.
brisk. Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah,
good
yeah. I would say
jacket
it's
or
the
long
same here.
sleeve.
Where it looks really nice out, but it's not. Um, All right, let's we can spill that in. I wanted to start off to give you guys a chance to answer a question I have. Um, it was texted to me this morning by Dre, and
Oh
I did a little
no.
research today. My question for you guys is AEW dead?
I wouldn't say they're dead, but they were very desperate last night when they did what they did. Although I did see the rating come in, and it was actually over 800,000 watched it last night. So I think they did okay with it.
Yeah, but so I get that. I guess the reason I'm asking, and I kind of do just want to listen to you guys talk about it. So
Okay.
the video that Greg's talking about is they released the footage of CM Punk beating the dick off a guy.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that guy is a part of a group.
yeah. So the guy's name is Jack Perry. Originally, the issue that came up was that Jack, in his match at All In, which was their biggest show of the year, he wanted to do a spot where he suplexed a guy on a car windshield that was using real glass, and Punk had kind of told him like, don't do that, and there's safer ways to do it. And
Yeah.
if you see during the match, Perry gets in front of the camera and knocks on the window and says real glass during the match. And at the time, no one kind of thought anything of it. And then after their match, Punk was about to go out and
Yeah.
work with Joe, and they got into a conversation like at Gorilla, which is like the spot that like they have all the monitors and stuff where like people communicate to the refs and everything. And it was a brawl apparently that happened, and I guess that is what led to Punk deciding to leave AEW because he said this place was unprofessional, it was a clown
Which
show and all that, and
they said they were going to leak the footage,
they
and then but that's because Khan wanted it leaked because they're desperate because they lost Cody Rhodes.
they
Is
well,
that fair?
kinda they what happened was is that Punk was on the Ariel Helwani show the week leading up to the Mania and kind of just he didn't let loose a ton because there's definitely some stuff that he can't talk about because it would be like in violation of certain things, but he basically gave his side of what happened at All In, said that they got into the confrontation and stuff, and afterwards he had told Tony Khan that he was done, and that was that. So, and the funny thing is that footage is not technically AEW's property. It's property of Wembley because it was from their internal security cameras that are installed in the building. So I guess that was like a workaround that AEW got to be able to release the footage because it's technically owned by Wembley, not AEW.
Yeah.
But yeah, they released the footage. You don't hear anything obviously because like those cameras aren't going to be mic'd and everything, but you can kind of see in the you don't know what was said between the two, so that's still kind of open ended. It's a he said type thing, but like you do see Punk kind of being the instigator from the physical perspective.
Go back and watch it. Jungle Boy touches him first.
I did not see the
Yeah,
original
Jungle
touch.
Boy kind of like
Yeah.
gives him like a shoulder push, and then Punk shoves.
Okay.
So my question then, switching two-part for you, Josh. One, are you anti AEW now because it's a Punk situation and Punk was back wrestling and it's like
That was the
kind
first
of
time you had watched it in a
annoying
while,
that
too.
well, it's kind of annoying that Punk's back and like it's this huge thing, and
Yeah.
then something that is kind of I'm not gonna call it like a cardinal sin, but something real happened, and
Right.
instead of making good content out of it, they just threw the video out to make themselves look good. Because does that make you mad? Because I know you were excited Punk was back.
No, I didn't like that Punk came back
Oh, okay.
to WWE. I thought that was him selling out. I was like,
Got it.
you said you would never go back. You said you were gonna change it. You were gonna make things better in AEW. Yada yada yada. And then like it looked like the same exact thing that always happens with Punk. Happened again, where he like blew up. He screamed at people. He fucking quit. You know that whole 9 yards, right? But that's not what happened, and that's kind of cool for me because I'm like, oh no, like he had every right to leave this time, and like there was shit that needs to be addressed, just like there was when he left the first time, right? WWE. So like it's just I don't know. Like I think I'm not anti AEW. You know, Greg and I were at the first unofficial AEW show.
Yep.
Um, but I'm not.
Well-
I'm not like waving a banner either.
Yeah. So, and I'm just looking here. So I'm gonna name off some names. Adam Cole is really good at wrestling,
We
right?
love Adam Cole.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's been
and
he's
he's-
been injured for a bit because he fractured his ankle in a
But he's
spot.
there.
Yeah, he is there.
Yep.
Yes.
Going down this list, and obviously you guys can tell me who else we missed. Brian Danielson, is he good at wrestling right
Yes,
now?
He is. Yes,
Okay.
he
We
is.
love Daniel Bryan.
Yes, we do.
I do, but I don't know if I love Brian Danielson.
Oh, it's Daniel Bryan but better.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Chris Jericho, is he still doing
He is
well?
still
Love
there.
Chris Jericho.
He's still there.
Had
Yep.
no idea Christian Gage was Christian until right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him.
Sick. Big Bill.
Yeah. Big Cass. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout
We're
him
not
out.
Team Big Cass.
I know you are against him entirely, but I'm just saying he has done a much better job turning his life around.
Yeah, and he beat the shit out of Carmella.
I get what you're saying, bud, but I'm also pointing out again that he has done things to at least try to better himself. Because
Fuck him.
Just saying.
He's no Enzo. Dustin Rhodes.
Yes, he is. He's still there.
Is that Gold Dust?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. That is.
All right, cool. Noticed him. I mean, is Jack Hager?
Jack Hager. Yeah, he is still there.
Is
He
that
doesn't
Jack
appear.
Swallows or whatever?
We
his
the
name is?
people.
Yeah, he is.
What was
Yeah.
his name?
It was Jack Swagger in WWE. Now he's
Swagger.
just going by his actual name, Jake Hager.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy, is he still alive?
Jeff Hardy's still alive. He's,
Somehow.
I'm amazed he's hanging by a thread.
Johnny Moxley,
John
arguably
Moxley,
one of the
yeah.
greatest wrestlers ever.
Great book so far, by the way. Just saying. Shout out to Ryan Thompson
Do we
for me,
still
by the way.
like Kenny Omega?
Yes.
Love Kenny Omega. He is.
Okay.
He unfortunately is on the sidelines too. He had diverticulitis, so it's going to be a bit before he comes back.
Is that it for guys Derek would care about?
Edge.
Edge, yeah, he's there.
Oh.
He now goes by his like actual name, Adam Copeland. He's there.
Okay, who? Mr. Brody Lee, isn't that Luke?
Yeah, Brody Lee passed away
Oh.
at the end of 2020. Yeah.
Oh,
so
why is he still in here?
he might be like an alumni type thing or.
Well, I'll tell you right now, he's 0 for 0 in 2024.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Oh my
checks
God.
out.
My dad hasn't won a match since 2018 or
Cool.
2008.
Well, he's retired, you know.
Yeah, maybe.
Paul White,
Paul
Whit?
Paul White's more of a backstage
Fucking
role
dumb.
type thing. Yeah,
but that's the big show.
that is the
Yeah.
big show. Yep.
Samoa Joe, still Samoa Joe.
Current world champion, and
It's not good in wrestling when you're able to take your name with you, huh?
No.
Ah.
I mean, it's good for the guys.
Mhm.
Yes.
Bad
yeah.
for
Bad for the brand.
yeah.
Yeah, like certain wrestlers in WWE, obviously, like when they get you, they make you change your name. But some have been allowed to keep them. Like AJ Styles was allowed to keep his. Nakamura was allowed to keep his. There's like a handful of exceptions, but it's very rare that they get to actually like use the same name that they always had.
Cool. So AEW's still okay.
They
Yeah,
have
sure.
they have the talent. Like they just got Will Ospreay, who if you ever watch any of his matches, your jaw is literally hanging from the stuff that he does. It's incredible. And Kazuchika Okada, who was the guy in New Japan, is now there, and he's charisma galore in all seriousness. But like I think the problem is just like from an infrastructure standpoint, like there's no direction and stuff, and it's I think the long arcing problem that I've always heard just from like the podcasts I listen to or like stuff I read has always been like you have Tony Khan, who's just a fan who is putting everything together with like no long-term structure to be able to like keep it going and stuff. So like now it's kind of starting to bite him back a little bit, and also it doesn't help too that WWE is just like on a fucking tear.
Well, that was gonna be my next question for you guys, and then I'll shut up because I do want to let you guys talk about it if it matters.
Yeah.
Is Cody Rhodes hated on in the wrestling community for what seems like using AEW to become who he is now, or is this like the coolest thing that's ever happened?
I wouldn't say hated, no, because when he left WWE originally, like he was not being used at all. Like, and I give him a lot of credit. He worked his ass off on the indies to like become something and like build his name back up again. Like becoming the American Nightmare was all indie run.
Coolest name based off his
Oh, it's
fan.
great.
Like
Based
so
off his
sick.
dad, it's awesome. Yeah, and then him starting AEW, he even kind of came back and admitted as well that he didn't enjoy being, an executive. He didn't enjoy being like a guy who was a boss. Like he just, after
Fair.
the fact, he realized like he just wanted to be a participant. He just wanted to be someone that was a wrestler. And near the tail end of his AEW run,
Yeah.
you could kind of tell that
Oh, really?
he was struggling a bit. I think like the way he performs, and if you've watched any of his matches lately in WWE, he doesn't perform like a typical like indie wrestler. Like he's very cerebral, very methodical in the ring. Like he's very kind of slow paced and stuff like that. And in AEW, it's very it's high spot heavy. It's very like and especially a lot of the pay-per-view matches he had, like he wasn't really like main eventing anything. He was kind of in the middle of the card, just like there as like a name to kind of like draw attention. So
Yeah.
the fact that he went to WWE, was able to keep his name and like the moniker that he developed, and they just like pushed him as hard as they did. It's impressive, and it's also impressive too because like he was not getting those crowd reactions at the end of his AEW run. Like people were sick of him in AEW. So like when he went to WWE, that crowd loved him because they were excited to like see him on a bigger platform. And then when he got the chance, like he just kind of knocked it out of the park because people rallied around the finish the story moniker. So, and it worked well for him.
Yeah, what's that mean?
Finish the story. So the night after he returned at Mania 2 years ago against Seth Rollins, he cut a promo in the middle of the ring where he talked about the reason for wanting to come back is because in the mid 70s, Dusty Rhodes only worked in WWE for like a handful of times because for the most part, like he ran the Jim Crockett Promotions in the Carolinas, where that was like Ric Flair territory and the Road Warriors and that stuff. So like he was never like.
Was that WWF?
It would become WCW.
It would become
WCW.
It would become WCW. Yeah. So he was like main competitors with them and stuff like that. So Rhodes never won the world title in WWF. The closest he ever came was in the mid '70s, working at Madison Square Garden, where where like in the match, like he thought he had won, and there's a picture of Rhodes holding the WWF title at the time, but the decision was reversed and it was given back to the champion. So the reasoning behind it in storyline was that Cody, even though his dad was gone, he wanted to honor his legacy and win the title that his dad never won, which is where the finish the story moniker came from. It was finish what his dad started, and it just became a rallying cry.
Last question. What's the War Eagle belt?
The Winged Eagle. So
Winged Eagle, thank you.
So the Winged Eagle title, it was introduced in '88.
No.
What do you mean no?
Let me double check. Go ahead.
It was introduced in '88.
I hope Greg's wrong.
Hogan, I think, was the first one to wear it, and then it was the title. It was the title from '88 to 1998 because Austin was the last person to hold it. During that stretch run from like '88 to '98, it was probably, I would argue, the coolest championship design that they've had for the world title. It was held by Hogan, Savage, Warrior, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Yokozuna. It's a classic looking title. And after Austin won the belt at 14, they changed the title to what was known as the Big Eagle, which is a more like circular type design and stuff that just didn't like pop as much. I think. But that title that they have is kind of like more synonymous with like the boom period of WWE, I would say, and kind of like led to the Attitude Era. And Cody has said on record that he would love to bring back that title design if given the chance. And Cody was actually the one who brought back the original Intercontinental title design, which was the classic one from the 90s before they changed it again. So it's kind of on brand with him. I don't know if it'll happen, but it's definitely like something that I think a lot of fans are looking forward to.
So right now on your screen, Winged Eagle kind of has this like point to the top of it.
Oh,
and then
wow.
the Big Eagle is rounded. And
Yeah.
this is what you think of when you think of the Attitude Era.
Mm-hmm.
So would he replace the unified champion, whatever the hell belt, with
Belt,
that?
yeah, that's what he would like to do. I don't know if it'll happen because, like, to me, that the Winged Eagle is a much cooler title design than what they have now, which is just the giant W, in my opinion. But I think the knock on that one too is that WWE title design belt that they have has just been used, that they've been able to market it to like so many organizations and like sports teams and stuff like that, that I think it'd be very hard to like replace it. But
Yeah, but could he bring it back as a secondary belt?
ah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
I doubt that. I don't know how much pull he has, but
Well, the secondary belt still exists because they're up on your screen right now next to each other.
yeah.
You have the World Heavyweight Championship, which is currently being held by
Damian Priest.
thank you, Damian Priest.
Who? Let's see.
The hell is that?
We have two different ways to describe him. One of our friends calls him bisexual Undertaker, and
Okay.
and the other one who is in this room likes to call him Walmart Baron Corbin. is how Damian Priest is described in this sense. But he is the world heavyweight champion right now, and that's the belt.
Oh, he's okay. He hates R-Truth.
Yes, he hates R-Truth right now.
Yes.
It's hilarious.
Yeah,
I
when
like
he was
that
like,
that's
"We
your
are the
note.
judge." Well, we are the Judgment Day, and R-Truth runs up. They made a TikTok, which is, "I'm in the Judgment Day, of course," and R-Truth was, "I'm in the judge," and it just cut.
Yeah.
Dude, I was like, "Oh, that's so
What's
good."
hilarious is like behind the scenes, like Priest has been the one that was like pushing for him to like be in these skits because he finds them
he's
like
so
hilarious
funny.
and stuff. Oh, they've been so great. So
My only
goddamn
issue with
funny.
Judgment Day is what they've turned Finn Balor into.
Nothing.
He was
He's just
so
like-
sick when he came out.
He's a sidekick. Essentially.
Okay, those are all the questions I had about wrestling for you guys.
Okay.
I feel like the CM Punk stuff was big, and then what I've seen out of Cody Rhodes, I think, and obviously I don't know as much wrestling as you guys, I think it's the single most impressive individual effort I've ever seen, maybe,
Mhm.
because he shouldn't be there. Like, he was a little
No, that's fair.
like
He
a Randy
really-
Orton henchman, and like, I don't know. That's my POV.
I agree, especially for someone that kind of like went out of their way to start a rival company, and
Yes.
then
He's Michael Scott Paper Company.
Yeah, in the first
Yeah.
match, in his new company, he symbolically breaks a throne with a sledgehammer as like a shot to Triple H. You would not think that he would be working in that company, but the fact that he returned and is in good graces and has been like the perfect corporate like company like type guy that has never missed a house show and has just like always been
Yeah.
on the road and stuff is very impressive. And
I mean, hot take, Vince getting caught being a piece of fucking shit. Great for us all.
That's not a hot take. That's been the take for a long time.
Yeah.
We just didn't know that it was what it was gonna be for him to finally be
Nice.
out.
It was a long.
It's
a
stick,
long time
is my
coming.
guess.
It's a long time coming. Did you watch? I don't know if you watched any of it, but did you like catch any of WrestleMania last weekend?
Yeah, I watched the recap. So I guess I do have another question. They wrestled 2 nights
Yes.
because
Yeah.
I caught
time ever.
Sunday night
Did it
where
a couple
they
times.
did.
No, not the
um,
2 nights, but the same people main evented.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah. So I guess I did see where Rock comes out because Cena came out, and then the Undertaker came out, and like normally I'm somewhat against cliche one-off entrances for no reason, but
Yeah.
those 3 it was perfectly stacked. I was really happy.
I saw it online that someone called it WWE's Avengers Endgame moment, and I kind of
Yeah.
was like, I'm not crazy about that concept, but I get it from what they were trying to.
Would have been
Uh,
better if Stone Cold came out.
Yeah.
I think there could have been some like they should have just kept going.
Yeah.
But I did see John Cena saying he was not retired.
No.
No, he I think I saw that interview too. It was on McAfee. I think he said that he's gonna try to make like one more run because I think he has like filming for Peacekeeper this year, and then after that he wants to try to like do another year before he like calls it quits for a career.
Well, and I said this, and you might have, you kind of disagreed. Josh, do you think John Cena looked old?
Yeah.
Like, he looked like he's in some pain to me.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think
We talk about this with running backs all the time, right?
Yes.
Like the miles on Derrick Henry are different than the miles on somebody else. The miles
Yes.
on John Cena are different. Like John Cena didn't fucking quit worked every fucking show, worked every fucking house show. He went to Japan. He went to Europe. Like, he did not miss. And he also had to be at the top of the card every night, working against a lot, like maybe some of the worst wrestlers WWE ever had. Like, how many matches did that guy have with Ryback?
Ooh.
How many matches that guy had with
Yeah.
people who like sucked, were actively hurting him, and then he just taped it up and went out there again the next night.
And you wonder why there was that long stretch period where him and Orton were the main event of almost every pay-per-view.
Dude, I
Yeah.
love Randy Orton's my favorite wrestler ever.
Yeah.
And their saga, I think, was my most entertaining. Like when they did the Iron Man match and kind of anything goes or whatever. Well, like
Yeah.
I loved that era because that was Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes getting in
Yep.
there,
Mhm.
and it was 3 versus John Cena, good versus evil, very easy to see. I loved it.
Real quick, speaking of Orton, did you see his entrance at Mania? Because it was hilarious.
I didn't see his entrance. I saw him in KSI, which I thought
Okay.
was very sweet.
Yeah, but his entrance, so Logan Paul comes out with like a giant ass like prime truck and like shoots
Nice.
fireworks from it, but then Kevin Owens comes out and as like a one up, he rides down in a golf cart with like a sign that's like duct tape on the front that just says KO. And
Oh, that's
It's
awesome.
hilarious. And then like when Orton's music starts playing, KO's halfway down the entrance ramp and he looks back, he rides the golf cart back in reverse and he tells Orton to get on the back. And Orton is like standing on the back, and there's like the little lever for him to hold on to, and
This
Yeah.
is worth going to find.
and
I
KO
need
just
to
like
see this.
punches it down the entranceway with Orton standing on the back, and you can tell like Orton's like slow down, man. It's
Gosh.
it's hilarious.
That reminds me, Josh, we have to finish our lists.
Oh yeah.
That was a perfect whip to like after that burp just like go right into the it was awesome.
Yeah, let me pull mine up.
It was impressive, man. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I guess I completely forgot about that. Mainly because
Where did
was
we
that
leave
was
off?
that last week or has it been 2 weeks since that?
At 30, right?
Oh yeah.
20. Is it 30? I couldn't remember if it was 30 or
Yeah,
25.
we only got
on the-
through.
It was a long
Yeah.
ass list.
Yeah, it was
in
30.
fairness, yeah. It was a long goddamn list. Impressive that you guys like did that. In fairness, and I was.
Yeah, it was 30.
It was 30. I was impressive.
All right, I'm ready when you are, Josh.
You lead us off, so go ahead.
Okay, number 30.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I have. Well, no, I thought
we did
okay.
30.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I had
20
Rocky
so-
Maivia, so
20
29.
29, yeah.
29. I have Ronnie Radke's girlfriend.
Oh, Paige.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Met them both. Didn't really know who they were. Ronnie Radke photobombed Mars when I took the picture, and I said that dude's sick. And then I realized who they both were.
That's really. I would have not expected Ronnie Radke to try to photobomb Mars. That's hilarious. Actually.
Well, it was Mars was like, dude, that's Paige, and I was like, okay, cool, let's go talk to Paige.
Yeah.
And he was in the background, and like, and stuff like that. And I was like, I was laughing. He came over. He's like, that looked good. I was like, dude, you look great. And they left. And then
Yeah.
I was like, oh. So yeah, I have Paige, Ronnie Radke's girlfriend, at 29.
Ronnie Radke's girlfriend. That's amazing.
That's fair. Okay.
Did you
so,
name her already, Josh?
Yes, I have
Okay.
her at 38.
Mhm.
Cool.
Okay, so at 29, I have Rey Mysterio. And
Ooh.
Wow. Okay.
I'm now, so I was with work people this weekend. We were at a cabin. They were nice enough to let me put Mania on in the background.
Oh yeah, I saw the video of you like slouched on the couch, just like enjoying.
Yeah,
Mania,
just
in the
like
zone.
just like ignoring everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ignoring
When
everybody.
Rey Mysterio came on, everyone fucking watched.
Get out.
Mhm.
And they were all super fucking pumped to see Rey Mysterio, which makes me feel like I have him too low.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio is the biggest like lucha ever when you think about it, because he's the first guy that ever like, other than like El Santo in like the 40s or 50s, he's the first like lucha libre wrestler that like crossed over and has become like mainstream and stuff. And the fact that he's as short as he is too is mind blowing to me.
So I have him at 29. Bleacher Report has Trish Stratus at 29.
Have you named Trish Stratus yet, bud?
You did. I
Yeah,
think
39.
Yeah, you had her.
Okay,
You had
cool.
her a lot lower.
Cool. All right. Next. I guess I lied to you both, and I didn't realize I lied to you both.
Okay.
At 28, I have Brian Danielson.
Okay.
So when
Okay.
I said I didn't know who he was, I knew who Daniel Bryan was.
Yeah.
I lied.
Okay.
lied.
I do actually. I obviously have some very funny ones coming up.
Okay.
I do. He would probably be top 30 for me
Mhm.
because for me, I still think of the Miz yelling at him every time I see him.
It's really funny to think that 10 years ago was Mania 30, which at the time I thought was the best ending to a Mania ever. And then they somehow were able to top it this year, I think.
They topped it when Seth Rollins fucking put Brock Lesnar's face into the mat. Or I'm sorry, he put Roman's face into the mat.
Yes, he did. I
Seth
don't.
Rollins
I
was
do not
sick.
think they top Mania 30 with that cash in. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're full
I
of
do
shit.
not.
Okay.
I think you
No.
guys should, in a future show, rank the WrestleManias.
Okay.
Oh,
Just the finishes or all the whole?
the whole.
I'll let
ones.
you guys. I have no
Okay.
authority to say
Ooh.
what which one it
That'll
should
be
Hey,
dicey.
Derek, 2 out of 3 people made this list on this show. Okay,
Fair.
one of them did.
Dude, well, one of them said it was he didn't have enough time and it was impossible.
I had a bad day that day, so that's why. But yeah.
Okay, so at 28, I have Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Oh man, one of the craziest things about him, he is the only wrestler I ever knew of that perfected the art of going back and forth between a company every year.
Oh yeah.
It's the weirdest goddamn thing with him because he was in WrestleMania 3, the amazing match with Savage for the IC title, was there a little bit in '88, left in '89 to work in WCW, came back in '90 to work in WWE, then went back to WCW in '91 and '92, and then retired.
He's the Marion Hossa of wrestling.
Yes, that's a great way to explain it. He just
Chasing
goes,
rings.
he goes for the
That's
money
awesome.
and then immediately leaves when the going gets tough.
And Bleacher Report has China at 28.
The whole country.
For cultural impact, you know what? I could see their argument.
Well,
Two-time
Josh, you
internet-
had China at like 40, right?
Yeah, I think I had China low.
Mhm.
I had
Yeah.
China at 41. But she did win a men's title twice. It's pretty fucking cool. She's the only female wrestler to win a men's title, let alone twice.
Also, hear me out, and Josh will get heated for me for saying this, but I would argue that China is the reason that Chris Jericho got over initially in WWE.
Ooh.
I don't know enough to know anything about that aside from the fact that Chris Jericho has to be one of the greatest wrestlers ever.
Yes, 100%.
So
But when
that's all I got.
he was kind of treading water a little bit for the first couple of months when he was in WWE, but when they started working together, like him and China, I think China helped like get him to like that next level of like notoriety and stuff.
I'll agree with that if you say the same goes for Eddie Guerrero.
Oh,
I'll say
for
that.
sure,
Okay,
for sure,
cool.
absolutely,
All right, I'm fine with that.
absolutely. I'll say that. Latino heat, absolutely.
27.
27. Who do you got?
I have both Bella twins.
Perfect.
Nikki is far superior, but okay. I'll give you
I
that.
couldn't tell you which is which. I don't know which
Um,
one's married to Dan O'Brien and which one was married to John Cena.
I
don't know.
There's a very serious answer to that, and it is simply that Nikki is the thicker one, and if you know what I mean.
I don't. What do you mean?
Gregory.
Sorry, she's got it all going on. That's basically what I'll say.
What do
on
you
that
mean? I don't know what you.
one. She's got it all going on. That's all I gotta say on that one.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, I don't know what he
Anyway.
means, Josh.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Is it
27
her?
for me is one of the current women's champions. She won it at Mania this year, Bailey.
My only issue with every woman you're going to name from now on, and I mentioned Bailey, I love Bailey, is
Mhm.
that they're all
Current.
higher on your list than Sasha Banks.
Yeah,
That's
'cause
all I could
Sasha-
think about.
So you got to remember that like the parameters that Bleacher
Yeah.
Report
Oh,
used.
agreed. I did not use those. I agree.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
we know,
yeah.
but it makes your list better in fairness.
Thank you.
Bailey, by those parameters,
100%.
is the superior wrestler. Whether my opinion comes into play doesn't matter.
Yeah, Bailey is probably. I mean, obviously, there's a ton of amazing female wrestlers. She was the first wrestler as a female that I went, oh, it's not just about her body. Like
Yeah.
she's a very attractive woman, but I was like, oh, she's fun to watch.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, when she turned heel, I started to appreciate her a lot more because I never thought I'd see her as a heel.
Yeah, agreed.
So like when I realized like how good she was as a heel, I'm like, oh, I can appreciate her a
Her
lot more.
NXT class, that whole era
Yeah.
was like the funnest wrestling I've ever watched.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And one of the members of that era at 27 for Bleacher Report is Charlotte Flair.
Yes, yeah.
27.
To me,
Wow.
that's the greatest female wrestler in terms of like legacy and belt and athletic ability. Like, she's not my favorite, but I feel like she has to be
No, yeah,
up there.
I would bet you that, and I don't know if Bleacher Report's already named her, but I would be curious if like Bleacher Report has Becky higher simply for the fact of like the kind of like a cultural impact. I would say, like the man, like that run that she had when she discovered that character, like was hot as hell. But Charlotte is one of those people that you could put her in the ring with anyone, and she will put on a clinic. Yeah, her match last year with Rhea Ripley at Mania was awesome. It was they beat the hell out of each other too.
Derek, 26.
26, Sami Zayn before he became a douchebag.
Nice.
Notably, we talked about number 50 was Sami Zayn after being a douchebag. So
Nice.
Okay. So you're talking like when I showed you Nakamura versus Sami Zayn, like when he was just like the happy-go-lucky.
Greg, you got to stop leaking names on my list, bud.
Sorry, my bad.
No, I'm kidding. Yes,
My bad.
that when Greg said, "I want to show you this wrestling match,"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and it was to me, and I was like,
good.
I went like this because I was like, "Can you?" I'm not Josh.
Yeah.
I was like, "Wow, I love them." So yeah,
Really
I made him watch it in my parents' basement like before Mania 30. Actually,
it was so sick. That was so cool.
Yeah.
At number 26, I have your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler, the Ultimate Warrior.
Man, again, cultural impact and stuff like that. Like it's amazing how many people grew up loving the Warrior, and like I didn't get into the weeds on how like just crazy of a human being he was until like I got maybe like older in like high school and stuff, and I started reading and learning about him and just like how like not horrible, but like how difficult he was to work with. But like you gotta include him on the list just cause, in my opinion.
And then,
Was he a good wrestler?
No.
I know nothing about him. I know he's sick.
You know how like Cena has like the five moves of doom and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Warrior probably has like 3, and every single one of them hurt like hell because he didn't know how to do it properly.
Oh, that's upsetting.
he was the embodiment of the word energy,
Yes.
Gotcha.
and that came through,
Charisma.
and he just like sucked in young kids.
He did.
The colors, the
Got it.
hair, the yelling.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Okay. And then Bleacher Report has Seth freaking Rollins at 26.
The architect, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I
Did he
feel
ever
like
have
this
another
is
name?
low.
On the indies he was known as Tyler Black, but like ever since he like got to like developmental, he's always been Seth Rollins. Yeah. And I mean like he had like the Visionary, the Revolutionary, the Architect, like he had all those monikers, but like he never really like had anything else in WWE. No. Actually, what's interesting, I think someone told me like how like Shawn Michaels' story has always been like consistent, and you've never had like a drastic change in him at all. You can kind of say the same thing about Seth.
Sure.
He's been the same character essentially. Like he's had like different motives and stuff, but like he's been the same character throughout this entire time essentially. So it's
Was he the wrestling fans' favorite member of the Shield?
Ooh.
Because Dean
that's
Ambrose,
a great question.
John Moxley. I know right now, Josh, if I asked you to meet a wrestler, you'd be like, "I love John Moxley," but I know how much you
Seth
love.
Rollins.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Agreed. But like, I think it's between the two of them because wasn't Roman Reigns a plant?
Roman Reigns was 100% like the company's like guy and stuff, and then Seth was the guy that could do everything in the ring. Ambrose was kind of like just like he was kind of just there. He was like the wild like hardcore like everything type guy, but like just the way that he carried himself like gravitated him to like people. But yeah, Seth is the do everything type guy. Although in fairness, I think when the Shield were at their height, I think everyone assumed that Ambrose would be the guy that would turn on them because he was clearly the more heelish one of the three.
I liked how they broke up. I thought it was really
Oh,
well
it was
orchestrated.
so well done. No one saw it to be Seth Rollins. No one.
25, Josh.
Yeah, for you.
This is a guy I have not named yet. McFoley.
Yeah, you have not named him.
You've not.
I've not named
you have
McFoley.
not named him. That's very
This
true.
all of I would argue 90% of my bits are funnier if I got to say my whole list.
I agree.
That's fair.
I agree.
That's fair. It's all right.
McFoley at 25.
Nick Foley 25. It is so sad. He was planning on doing one more match to like call it a career, and he announced on social media this week that he was not, that he has to cut it. He's
he
in his
needs to
60s.
Stop.
He's in his 60s. He was gonna try to do one more final match to like call it a career, but like his doctors told him that like he can't do it.
He should have called it a
Good.
career 30 years ago.
Yeah,
Mm.
thank God.
Okay. 25 for me. And this is kind of where I believe we start a list of like, if he's not somebody's favorite wrestler, you don't belong on this list.
Oh,
You know
okay.
what I mean?
like that.
Like, I feel
didn't
like
go through
everyone
with that.
below here could be like, oh, I appreciate that wrestler, but they're not my favorite.
Right.
I feel like everybody above here is somebody's favorite wrestler.
The top 25.
love that.
The top half
Right.
of the list. That's fair.
Right. Okay. So, Jake the Snake Roberts.
Oh, what a mind.
One of the best
business.
names in
Yes.
wrestling.
Great name.
Yeah. and
Great
the-
gimmick, everything.
Mhm. The funny story about him, he was actually terrified of snakes when he
Yeah.
when
Well, Batman hated bats.
True.
Yeah, that's true. He did. When the story he always tells.
6'5"?
Yeah, and also, yeah, dude, he's big, deceptively big. And then the story about he created the DDT as well.
Created
No
the DDT, and you don't have Stone Cold Steve Austin without Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yeah.
That I believe.
Yeah.
So,
He always
Cool.
Everyone has always asked him too, what does DDT stand for? And his response is the end.
That's sick.
Mm-hmm. It's awesome.
Bleacher Report has Edge at 25. Sure.
I think that is really a good place.
Yes.
That's a good spot
Yep.
for him. He's not
Yeah.
he's not like, I don't think, the upper tier of all time, but like he deserves to be there.
Bueno says Lily and I need a shout out, Deke. Bueno notably now is having intercourse with a female who allows him to use her name.
Hey, good for Bueno.
Congratulations.
Good
for
job,
you,
Lily.
man.
You bagged a 6'5" goofball who I love more than life itself.
Hey, you're on 24.
Let's go with the little Jew, MJF. It's funny because he said it.
It's not funny because Greg's Jewish.
True,
I
but
just was
he
not
called
prepared for that.
himself a little Jew.
He did. He's
I
very proud
here's
of
what
it.
I'll say about him. Personality wise, I think he might be. You guys know me. I don't care if they can wrestle well. I like the mic. He's arguably like top 10 mic people I can think of in terms of. Now, and Josh, give me some.
No, I think
lack
I
of
think
credit.
I don't think that's a stretch. I don't know that we can put the lid on it yet. Because
Yeah,
we
like
need to
I
see what he
can't
does
tell you
next.
some of the old mic people.
But he's
but
trending
man.
there.
He is.
Yeah.
100% is.
And I think his letter made me fall in love with him.
Yeah, he's
Oh
great.
yeah,
So-
the one I sent you from the Players Tribune. Oh, it was so good, so good.
He's great.
Mhm.
Okay, at
I also
Tw-
never thought I'd like him as a babyface. Just saying, which is even blowing my mind on that one.
at 24, I have Charlotte Flair.
Oh, good.
Same difference. It's the second highest a woman is on this list for me.
Well, I'm curious who we haven't named yet. Actually.
You'll see.
Okay.
And then 24, Bleacher Report has Ric Flair. Now, I just want to again state this is supposed to be about the WWE
Yes.
and championships and legacy and all that shit. So, like, Flair is a WCW,
Yes.
AWA, independent.
yeah.
That's his bread and
Good
butter,
Yes,
right?
100%.
So,
Yeah.
Just-
if you look at just the WWE run, so like he had 1 year in '92 to like beginning of '93 when they should have had him and Hogan main event Mania 8, and they absolutely dropped the ball on that one, which I will
Yeah.
never get. But when he came in 01, and
Yeah.
from like 01 to 08 when Michaels retired
Sure.
him, that's a 7-year run that like he had in
Pretty good.
his late 40s and stuff, when he was part of Evolution, when he won a tag title, won an Intercontinental title, like had some very solid matches overall and stuff. Like that's a pretty damn good career, and he still had the charisma at the time as well. So he deserves to be on this list, absolutely.
Derek, 23.
23, the greatest wrestler of all time, Enzo Amore. Comes in at
23.
23.
Greatest wrestler of all time is at 23. Got it.
Enzo Amore. I think the he's a lightning strike.
Yes,
God,
he
was
is.
it quick, and wow, did it go. He's the Antonio Brown if Antonio Brown had one season where he broke all the records.
Yeah.
Oh,
What a
that
shit wrestler.
man spit fire on a microphone.
Can't
and
teach
you,
that.
And you had nothing to go against it as well.
we got
Can't
over
teach that.
here.
Go
ahead.
Go
ahead.
ahead,
The best. He's the best.
Barbados.
I still don't understand why Big Cass is allowed to have a career and he's not. But that,
I
hey,
agree.
He kinda still does, but it's not anything close to.
You know he
was
doesn't.
So good.
Yeah, like he jumps around like a bunch of indies and stuff like that, but yeah, he hasn't had like a consistent
He
thing
could-
going with him.
He could work.
He was
Low-key,
one of
could
the.
work.
He was arguably the hottest person in WWE for a short amount of time.
Oh
Yeah.
God, when
Like-
when he had the microphone, you wanted to like you did not say a word. You shut
Yeah.
up and you listened to him.
They've had moments where there's guys that take over for a week or a
Yeah.
day. Enzo, he earned the belt of like the guy for a minute.
Yep,
Mm.
for sure.
Yeah.
At 24, I have Seth Freak, or I'm sorry, at 23, I have Seth freaking Rollins.
Okay, kind of in line with Bleach Reports. So that's
It
fair.
is.
Yeah.
Seth is somebody's favorite wrestler, but he's every ounce of the Bret Hart that he never wants to be. He wants to be Shawn Michaels. He wants to be Stone Cold. He wants to be the
Ooh.
guy, but he's just not the guy.
Ooh, wait. Are you saying that he is our generation's Bret Hart?
Sure. If Roman is Shawn, yeah.
That's a. I really like that take, Josh. Damn, I did not expect that today. Okay, I can get that.
Sat in the hospital for like 2 hours today. I've been just
You've had a long day.
ready to go.
You've had a long day. I give you credit. You've been primed and ready to go for this.
At 23, Bleacher Report has Daman Becky Lynch.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
nice.
I
was
kind of
wondering.
I figured Becky would be higher on the list because of like the charisma and like the obviously like main eventing and stuff. Like when that man got over, like geez.
It's just what Derek talked about with Enzo, right? Where he was like,
Yep.
Enzo had that moment where he was the man. Well, Becky did it, and for the first time as a woman, took
Very
over and
smart.
was like, everybody's
Very
talking
smart.
about me.
Yeah. I actually want to buy her autobiography. I heard it's really good.
Is she still wrestling?
Yeah.
Yep. She
Yeah,
had a
cool.
She opened Mania this weekend against
Good for her.
Rhea Ripley. Actually.
Good wrestler.
Oh, very good
22 for me.
Yeah.
We're getting, so here's what I'll say. We're getting into a very funny blend of Derek's favorite people / Derek trying to be funny /
Sure.
real wrestlers are sprinkled in here.
Which we're all for the record.
Yeah, I'll let you guys decide where this guy falls. Give me R-Truth.
He was on mine at 50, remember?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I know.
He deserves to be on the list, man.
He lasts, he to me. So what I brought up earlier about the Miz, Josh, with Daniel Bryan, and like you're out there throwing your head against, a turnstile. There's us guys who are just part of the show, and R-Truth is the epitome of a company guy
Yep.
who doesn't take himself so serious and just goes, I have an amazing job that I can have fun. He doesn't want to be this thing that is the greatest. And his whole career has been, I love doing this. That's how I feel.
He has his job. He had his job for the longest time, like in WWE previously, was because Vince McMahon always found him hilarious, and it worked.
So naturally funny.
He is naturally hilarious. When he did the Little Jimmy skit originally, and it
Dude,
was
little Jimmy was,
and it was not supposed to be funny. It was supposed to be like this dude was crazy, which is what it was, and he just
Yep.
like morphed it into like this hilarious
so good,
thing
dude.
with it. Oh my god. He referenced it on Monday Night Raw this past week because they had a partner that you couldn't see, and they were like, "Are you talking about Little Jimmy?" And they're like, "No, I'm not." And it was originally.
love it.
Oh, it's so great.
I found this out today that R-Truth debuted in WWE in 1999.
Tag team partner with Road Dogg.
99.
99.
Yep.
And this year at Mania was the first time he won a Mania match.
Good for him, dude.
Yeah.
Right?
Great for him.
It feels so like I just feel warm saying that out
Yeah.
loud. I'm like, yeah,
And
that's
He is
awesome.
he is also the perfect example of maximizing your minutes because he
Yeah.
got that Judgment Day angle because Priest like thought that
Yeah.
it would be hilarious for him to like be a part of it, and he made the most of it to the point that like
Agreed.
they had to do something with him.
Thank you guys for humoring me.
Yep. 22 Edge for me. Sure.
Around the spot of Bleacher Report, yeah. So
Yeah.
that works. Okay.
Did he invent? No, I don't want to say invent.
What?
That's stupid. Was he the first true spear?
Goldberg.
Goldberg. Okay. Cool.
Actually, they're around the same time.
No.
Well, Edge's spear was like I knew about it,
Edge
but
did-
I didn't know Goldberg. That was I just never watched Goldberg.
It wasn't
actually.
Goldberg's finisher. It was his setup move.
Okay, that's fair.
Which
Just
is
the
great
jackhammer was his finisher.
You know what? That's fair because Goldberg debuted in like mid '97 and Edge debuted in like early '98.
But, like-
I'll give you that.
Top guy versus a dude that's on a tag team, and their finisher was Concerto.
No,
No,
I get it, but like when you said the first spear, that's where like my mind went because I'm like, he kind of was early, but Goldberg probably was the originator because it was like a year early, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And then Bleacher Report has Daniel Bryan at 22. Again, he was much lower on my list because this is WWE run.
He's a Grand Slam champion,
Yeah.
technically, yeah. So
Sure.
he'll get marks for that.
But he really had one run as
He
being
did.
like a guy.
He did, and it should have been longer if he wasn't like if he didn't get
Didn't
hurt,
get hurt.
or like all
Sure.
these
Yeah.
other things. Yeah.
I just don't like. I have a tough time saying that Seth Rollins is lesser than Daniel Bryan.
Also, in
That's
fairness,
that's a really good point. And I'm sorry, Greg, to cut you off, but really quick, because Josh, in my opinion, I feel like the company forced Daniel Bryan up,
Yeah.
and Seth Rollins is very more self-made, and I don't know if that's correct. That's how I feel about it.
So it's more like Punk left, and Daniel Bryan got Punk's push
Yes.
because Punk said "fuck you," and
They
Seth
needed a guy.
Rollins kind of like just was the dude that they
He felt
couldn't
close
ignore.
to Punk.
he
He
did.
felt like
Yeah.
a Punk that was for the company.
Yeah, but also I would point out too the reason that he got like the spot over Punk was because like people just shit on the idea of Batista versus Orton in main event Mania.
Right? They turned just like they turned against The Rock versus Roman this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
They turned against Batista versus Orton and forced Daniel Bryan into the main. event.
Really?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh
Good to
yeah.
know.
There's
That
this
was-
great because it was unifying the titles was for the first time. The heavyweight championship and the WWE champion were unified for the first time in the Daniel Bryan 30 WrestleMania win. And there's a segment where they bring out everybody that's ever been a heavyweight champion, which Daniel Bryan had been. He'd never
Yeah.
been the WWE champion. And John Cena just is like saying the name of the people in the ring, and when he said Daniel Bryan's name,
That-
the crowd just kept going yes, yes, yes
Dude,
until
the
he
coolest.
addressed it. It's like it gives me chills that moment.
Mhm.
The yes that so there's and I'm sorry, I know we're whatever. There are so many times I can vividly think of when wrestling was larger than wrestling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like when wrestling took over main stage.
Took over
That
pop
was
like,
culture. Yeah.
and I think
for sure.
Enzo's close to that. Like there's a couple like John
Yeah.
Cena is there. Yes,
Yeah, it was
was
huge.
I would say it's one of the biggest transcending wrestling things I've ever seen.
We're doing it at Pirates games and shit.
I remember the
Yes.
first time I remember it getting over like big was when I remember watching College Game Day and like Michigan State's football team was like leading the crowd at a basketball game, and you just see this like sea of white just like doing the yes
So
chant,
sick.
and I'm like, oh, okay, we've crossed over then at that point.
How does it feel, Greg, that it's only 7:00 and we're in the first?
You know
hour
what?
of the
You know what's
show?
funny? I was talking about this with Josh yesterday about Central Time Zone being like
It's the best.
it's
Cool kid time.
I thought it was gonna be weird and stuff, but what's nice
Hi, baby.
But what's nice is just being 8 o'clock where I normally am, and like still being up, and it's like
Yeah.
bright and shiny outside. I will say, Central Time Zone does fuck. I will
Dude,
say
the fact
it
that
does.
football should kick off at noon.
Oh, I'll give you that.
All right. Are we
Dude,
on 21?
SEC games at like 11 a.m. is weird. To
We're
me.
we're on 21. Let's do 20 and then pivot.
Cool.
21, Derek.
21. You look at when NXT was popular,
Mhm.
and there's one motherfucker in charge, and that's Wade Barrett.
Loki, have you heard him as a commentator? He's
No.
really good.
Sure.
He's really good.
No,
Sure.
but he's sick.
Why
I
not?
loved him back then.
He was the original winner
Wait.
of NXT. I'll give you that. I
I
will
have-
absolutely give you that.
And I apologize if I fuck up this gimmick for you. Wade Barrett or
Bad
a
news.
different. Yeah.
No, it's not on. The
Okay.
Okay.
Trust me, Josh. From 20 and up, I have
Real
a
okay.
story about. Yeah, no. Bad
just-
News Barrett to me
that was the best.
like it was sick. Why I loved Wade Barrett was because it was the first time where I was like, the WWE set this thing up where promising wrestlers have a coach, and all of them are basically like, fuck all our coaches. We're
Yeah.
gonna come to the WWE and start destroying stuff. I thought that was one of the greatest storylines
It
of
was.
anything
It
I had
really
ever seen
was.
ever.
Yeah.
Because even you got me liking motherfuckers named Jake Slater or whatever, or Heath Slater.
Heath Slater. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever
Oh.
his stupid ginger
I'm
name
a
is.
one-man band.
Yeah. So Wade Barrett, 21
He's
for me.
still wrestling, by the way. He works for TNA now.
At 21, I have Roddy Piper.
Oh, you want to talk about someone that was great on the mic? Jesus Christ, could he get heat?
And then Bleacher Report has the Game, Triple H.
Lower than I expected.
I agree.
Very low.
Wow.
Yeah.
I agree. Derek, start us off with your 20th, and then we'll move on.
Number 20 is a guy that I can't explain it. I know Josh loves him. He feels like the bad guy in every high school movie ever. Give me Baron Corbin. Like, I fucking
He is the bad
love
guy in
this
every
guy.
high school
Oh,
movie ever.
everyone.
is.
And
He
dude,
is.
I feel like even you can say he's doing well or whatever. He was always just positioned like the lone wolf era and all
Oh,
his shit.
Yep.
He was so sick, and they never once gave him what he deserved, which is
Nope.
like a real bad guy storyline.
Yeah.
They always gave him some rinky-dink follow-up.
And he made
Dude,
the best of it.
Loved Baron Corbin.
What's crazy about him too is that he was a football player when he
Yeah.
came over. Like I think he was a nose tackle.
Yeah, Kansas City Chiefs.
Like holy shit! Like I can only imagine how big he was to be a nose tackle because he's got the height for it. So that's kind of crazy to think. I remember the first NXT Takeover show I watched. Like he was in a squash match where he was
Yeah.
just like the guy that was in the ring and he looked like a badass. And I think I don't remember if it was Ty Dillinger or CJ Parker, but he squashed like his first opponent and everyone was like, "Oh my god, we have like a new like
Yep.
heater or like big guy that was gonna like do work and stuff," and then they gravitated towards him just being like a guy that only knew one move and that was it, and that's all he needed. He's so good at like psychology of just being a bad guy. And Deke, I mentioned this previously, like he's been in NXT for like the last year and stuff to kind of like help like kind of like I guess reset himself, kind of like find
Good.
his groove and stuff. And he's actually been getting cheers in NXT.
Really?
Yeah, like his people are like gravitating towards him because he's having fun, and you can
Good.
wrestling fans can always tell when a guy or a performer or any like male female, they can always tell when someone is having fun in the ring, and we naturally gravitate towards them because if they're having fun, we're having fun.
The Lone Wolf era, they would count how long his matches were. They'd be like 1, 2, 3, and then like he'd beat them, right? Be
Mhm.
fucking great. His finisher is fucking sick,
The end of days is sick. I will give you that.
and he can talk. It's just he's everything.
Yeah,
And-
the Constable Corbin and then like the King Corbin stuff with like
Yeah.
the Burger King crown
Yep.
was just like I get it, like they're trying to like find ways to like get like heat on him and stuff like that, but I just think like just let him be him and he'll find ways to get people to hate him.
At 20, for me, I have the same exact guy that Bleacher Report has.
Nice.
He's my favorite wrestler of all time,
Mhm.
CM Punk.
I am staring at
20.
I'm staring at the poster in his room right now with CM Punk in it.
He's
as well, so yeah.
20,
He's
Josh?
20.
Because I can understand why he's 20 because you're first off you're looking at it from the whole WWE perspective and not just like the entire career. If this was like entire career run, it would be top 5 for Josh easily. But if you're looking at just WWE, I can understand it because like
I don't think he's top 5 wrestler all time.
if you include like your ROH one, really?
No.
Top 10?
No.
Okay.
I think he's properly placed no matter where you put him.
Okay.
Or, whole run or WWE run. He did what Jeff Hardy couldn't do by being like a dude who doesn't fit the mold but like gets over anyway and is a legitimate champion.
More reliable than Jeff Hardy
Yeah,
too.
he can draw a house.
Yes, he could.
But he's not. He can't have a match with anybody. He can't talk everyone into the building.
Fair.
Yeah, he's great. He's an all-timer. He's a Hall of Famer, but he's not top 10 or God no top 5.
Okay.
That means you got to keep The Rock out of the top 5.
Yeah, which I can't do. Absolutely not.
You're bumping Shawn or somebody for CM Punk. That
Okay.
doesn't seem to.
Yeah,
make
I
sense.
can't bump. Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
bump Shawn Michaels. I'll give you that.
Okay. Cool. So what do you want to do for the second hour?
Probably breweries.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, let's get to this brewery list. This is gonna be good.
Brewery bracket is up.
Yeah.
How
How are we feeling after the first?
Go ahead.
half
I have
that
to
we-
pee.
How are we feeling after the first half that we did last week, Deke? Any
That's what up, Danny.
any second thoughts from what we decided on, or anything that you would want to change?
Not so much. It's tough because it's, not there. Obviously, we replaced breweries that aren't alive anymore. But,
Right.
like, for example, Valoom just announced today that they have this amazing food truck at their place, like, cooking in their place.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on
Mhm.
that I think I need to be more updated on. But at the same time, like,
Yeah, I mean,
is
like
what
in
it is.
fairness, you can only be updated so much. So like,
Yep.
I get it. And in fairness, by the way, I had no idea that Valoom actually cans their beer until
Oh, really?
I did not know. I was at Duffy's like last weekend to get something, and I was like down one of the aisles, and I saw Valoom on one of them, and I'm like, son of a bitch, I had no idea they canned their stuff. So that's at least cool. I mean, you would hope that they would with all the
Yeah.
space they have, but no, it's awesome to see. But I will say, after being there this past weekend, I honest to God, and I even texted you both, I really do think Two Phrase will jump your list.
Oh, I agreed. I
I
agree. Yeah, I
100%
need to
believe
see
it will.
Two Phrase, but I agree with you.
I don't know why, but there's just something about it that like it has this like it has a very like quaint community vibe to it, and when you walk on the inside, like it's just like it's very comfortable, and it's very welcoming to a degree. Like there's nothing too flashy, like the music isn't too loud, like, and then they have the outdoor patio and stuff, and the beer selection that I thought was excellent. They had a session hazy IPA that was phenomenal. They had a cucumber basil beer that I had. They had a couple Radlers on tap that were delicious as well. So something about Two Phrase to me that I think is going to be high on your list after you visited. Now,
Yeah,
you
I very
can-
much agree. They're
now
just
don't-
closed that day.
Yeah, no, just like and it's just a thing. I also and yes, like full disclosure, like we replaced like some of the names on the list that are closed now, but like I still like, even though I was only there like very quickly, like I still think Butler Brewworks like deserves the benefit of the doubt with the beers they have, because I think they had some very creative and fun stuff, but it is out of the way. It's a hike to get there. It's like an hour outside of
Yeah,
Pittsburgh,
I mean
so-
it's tough. That's not like a Pittsburgh brewery.
Stop talking shit about Butler. I'll whip your ass.
I was not talking shit. I was just
I
saying.
was.
Yeah,
I
it's-
talk shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Deke is definitely.
It's
one
just
of
not a Pittsburgh brewery.
Well,
No, it's not.
no, it's like, but it has a presence. You know, it's a big spot.
Yeah, in Butler.
Fair. I'll give you that.
It has a presence in Butler. Agreed.
I'll give you that.
Okay, ready?
Let's do it.
Do it.
Oh, I don't want to start there.
We gotta go to the other side.
Can I start on the other side, or do I have to start on the upper
We,
left?
we gotta get to like the same round.
You start wherever you want.
Okay.
Okay, I'm starting upper right.
All right.
Trace versus Two Phrase.
Here's the tough thing about Two Phrase.
Is that you haven't been there, so you can't really like give a
No.
description.
No. The tough thing is they're up against Trace.
Fair. Fair.
Doesn't matter.
The one knock that I will say about Trace, and it's a very small knock.
Mindful Brewing did not make the bracket, Dennis. No.
Mindful, by the way, is weird.
They shut down.
They did, yeah. It's
We're not
also-
doing closed ones, Dennis.
Yeah, here's the thing about Mindful too, by the way. Like, they have like a satellite pub in White Whale, which is like the bookstore in Bloomfield. I
Yeah.
was in there this past weekend, and they still have some of their stuff on tap. But like the actual like main place over in Castle Shannon is closed, or at least
Yeah.
like it's not.
I
like,
liked it, Dan. Don't get me wrong.
It's not. It's not fully closed, by the way. I think it's just like temporarily closed, from what I read. But I don't know.
just
if
for
it'll-
this lifetime.
Yeah. I don't think.
As much as you might like Two Phrase, Greg, like it's funny. I got into a discussion. So Ping messaged me and said, "Don't just let Cinderlands win." And I said,
I saw that.
What?
And I kind of rolled my eyes a little bit. at that,
well,
but
my
continue.
answer was to Josh, who's not in the group. I said, well, what would make Cinderlands lose? And he was like, well, Volume, this, that. And Volume's great. Do you
It
know? I
is.
mean, we both love Volume.
It
They
is.
just added a new kitchen, Josh, is what I was saying. But what I said to Ping was just like, dude, like, nobody's letting Cinderlands win. We're going to have a very real discussion.
We will, absolutely.
But at the end of the day, like, them in Southern Tier is going to be a bloodbath.
Well, and
I
they
think.
have to play the winner. If they make it out of that, they got to play Penn Brewery Alter Genius.
Yes. And then they got to, yes. So
and
then
then
they're
they
up
get
against.
Grist House. Oh, why is 11th Hour on there twice? I got to fix that.
You're good.
But they have Grist House,
I mean, they're
11th
gonna-
Hour, Hitchhiker, which is like
Yeah.
a sneaky 2C.
Yes, it is,
Hitchhiker
100%.
is arguably, I longest story short, the one seeds are one seeds for a fucking reason.
right.
Right.
They
You're
are.
good,
They're
Dennis.
the heavy hitters. Absolutely.
Mindful is tremendous. They made really good beer. Yeah, they shut down like temporarily or something.
They
Dan.
did.
So
They did.
we tried to avoid those. Anyways, it's Trace. I'm sorry, Greg. I know you love Two Phrase, but you agree with me. I
No.
know you
Yeah, I agree with you. The only knock that I would say, and it's a very small knock, as much as I love Trace, what I will say is that I think Two Phrase has a better selection of style of beers versus Trace. Because I think, and I don't remember if me and you had this conversation the last time we were there, but Trace kind of like their selection of beers, while they're good, they're usually like one similar style. They don't have necessarily like a variety.
Yeah, they specialize in funky sours.
Yes, and there's nothing wrong.
Now they
with
do
that.
have, cold chip beers. They have lagers. They
Yes.
have basic ones. But I would agree. Two Phrase sounds like a place that has your IPA, your brown ale, your
Yes,
ba- 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 ba-
100%.
ba- ba.
100%.
Hey,
Thank you.
who won Lincoln Ave or Spoonwood?
Spoonwood.
Spinwood did.
Spoonwood
Yeah.
won, yeah.
Good catch, Josh.
Okay, so we put Trace through.
Yes.
Well, what do you think, Josh?
No, I mean, I've never been to the other one,
You will next month, probably. I would hope.
but should I spend $1 in Trace? I'll tell you that for fucking fun.
a lot of money will be spent on alcohol next month for you.
Okay. Ooh,
I'm gonna spend a lot of money on alcohol this month.
I gotta move. Okay, where are you? Ah, ooh. Church Brew Works, Inner Groove.
This is an interesting one. And this, what's fascinating about this one as well. And I remember when I took Deke to the new. No, wait, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of a different one. I was thinking of a different one. But Inner Groove is interesting because they have two locations. They have the one in
Mhm.
Allentown and they have the original one in Verona.
Mm-hmm.
The one in Verona is deceptively big on
Yes.
the inside as well. I love kind of the gimmick of them like giving you the like the flights in like a record, like cut
Yep.
out for them to fit. I think that's really cool. But Church Brewworks to me is an institution, and I know you knocked it originally, Deke, because you thought of it more as a restaurant instead of a brewery, which is your opinion on that. But I at least kind
It's a
of like,
gimmick.
but I like the history of it by the fact that there was so much controversy about it opening in a church, and like You know, like, because Pittsburgh is definitely like a big Catholic area and stuff like that, and it was a shutdown church that they like gutted and turned into a brewery, and it's standed the test of time as well. Like, it's been around forever.
Fair.
When you walk in, like, it's such a cool environment that you're in. So I get like the small startup versus like the big powerhouse as well.
Not even the powerhouse, the lazy dinosaur.
Is that what you're calling church?
Church Brew Works is not progressive. They're not for the community. They're not.
They're just there.
That I've seen.
Oh.
I'm sure they do a ton. But what I'm saying is they are just there, and they are assuming people will come to them. What I liked about Intergroove, which I will be fully transparent, my cousin bartends there, so I'm very biased. But I stopped with my mom on the way back home. I really, really just thoroughly enjoyed the 3 beers I had.
Okay.
Church Brew Works, I think, does an amazing job at what they do. But my POV on the situation, and I honestly want to let you two kind of vote because I do have family bias. I would go to Church Brew Works for the pierogies.
Yes, pierogies are delicious, especially the seasonal ones that they do as well.
So
Not as good
I would.
as my pierogies.
Facts. I'm very cool with letting you two vote first on this one, knowing.
Fuck, I wanted you two to vote.
Then I'll go. I'm going Intergroove. I think Intergroove. For me, Church Brew Works is a staple. Would I take people there? Yeah, the place is fine. The people, it's very commercialized waiters. I don't feel like it's not a brew staff. It's waiters. The location is very cool, but I absolutely fucking hate where it is. Inside is beautiful. Parking there is a fucking nightmare. Josh used to live there. Stop that. His cat here, Bean. Shut the fuck up. Intergroove was cool. It was down in Verona. The beer was really good. The food trucks they have are stellar, and the vibe was great. The record, they play on themselves pretty heavy, and I'm going Intergroove. And I'm going to the bathroom.
Fair. For the sake of keeping somewhat tradition alive, while I do enjoy Intergroove, I personally think I have to show respect to Church Brew Works, especially because if we're, just like when we talked about in the bar argument and conversation about how like bar like kind of like held down a community for the longest time, Church Brew Works I think was kind of like you could make the argument that it was included, if you include Penn in that, Penn and Church Brew Works are kind of like the two staples of craft beer in Pittsburgh. And I think it kind of like helped lay the foundation for what we have now. And also, I do enjoy going to Intergroove. Like I love the Verona location. I haven't been to the Allentown one yet. It looks cool from what I've seen. I didn't realize they had an outdoor patio actually until I drove past it this past weekend. But for me, I like the building it's in. I think it's a cool setup. Parking's not the worst because you can park behind the building and stuff. The food is good. And honestly, and also, this is the other thing too, I cannot tell you off the top of my head one of the beers from Intergroove. I can at least name Pious Monk Dunkel from Church Brew Works and at least like know what I'm gonna get from there. So I think for me, if you add the history aspect and you add kind of like the feel for it, I'm gonna vote Church Brew Works. But I understand it's a tough matchup for me because I do like Intergroove, but I would lean towards Church Brew Works.
I don't agree that Church Brew Works is one of the forefathers of craft beer in Pittsburgh.
Interesting. Okay.
I would put East End ahead of that.
Okay.
I would put, oddly enough, Fatheads ahead of that. Even though it's from Cleveland.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
Fatheads has been there.
Okay.
So, like, maybe they're the fourth, but, like, I don't know. Like, maybe.
Okay.
Is
it because of the fact that
it's very weird having you sitting over there, but like I have this monitor, so I can't.
No. I find it fun because it forces me to like look at the camera the entire time while we're having this conversation. So, because I mean, why not? But is it because the vibe they kind of give off isn't like a typical?
Yeah, it's a restaurant.
Okay. That's fair. It is very much. It is way more restaurant than it is craft.
Like Penn Brewery is also a restaurant, but like that's not what you think when you walk in there.
No, and but like the environment is really interesting, and they have Oktoberfest and like and Penn
it's like
Brewery.
Shitty Hofbrauhaus. Because it's overpriced.
Well, Hofbrauhaus is also like they're not a
overpriced?
local. Hofbrauhaus also isn't local. They're a
Works.
chain technically, so.
Here's the other part, and
We're still on it.
I'm voting Inner Groove
Okay.
because you talked about a bar holding down a community,
Yeah.
and Inner Groove was one of those first people to move into Verona to breathe life back into it.
Okay. I will
Them,
absolutely give you that.
Shop Monarch, the coffee shop that's right next to Inner Groove.
I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, I had a.
But
I had
those
I had a pulver
three-
from them. They were really good.
Those three were like, no, Verona's tight. Like we're gonna bring it back, and then they go to Allentown.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm Inner Groove.
Okay. And again, it's a fair conversation. I'm not.
Yeah,
I
it's a
like
good
I
debate.
like I like Inner Groove, but like to me, it was just kind of leaning towards like the history of it, especially. So that was my logic.
Greg, that's
Yeah,
just today.
you're not wrong.
You ask me tomorrow, I'd probably flip.
Facts.
Okay.
Cool. Boom. Inner Groove is on. Okay, and then we have Hofbrau versus Aslan.
Oh,
I don't know what Aslan.
Josh.
Aslan is in. So, in the defense of society, Greg will tell you it is not from Pittsburgh.
Neither is
But
Hofbrau.
Aslan is in the new. Yeah,
Yeah.
Aslan is in the new area in the Strip, where they have the putt
okay.
shack, the terminal area.
Yeah.
I made them run in Greg and my parents one day when we were back home.
Mm-hmm.
So Greg, you can now
Yeah.
go ahead.
First time I was there was actually with the Ricketts and I think one or two other people. But it's a Virginia-based brewery. It's their third location. They took up like a couple spaces in the produce terminal. It's the aesthetic, like in the colors and the way they have it kind of designed, is very like retro 70s type look. It's a really cool design format in my opinion. And the beer selection, they have so many different like styles and just really cool kind of concepts that they do. The volcano sauce is a sour that they make with like all these different berries, and they have different versions of it and stuff. It's a really cool setup that they have. Like everything is park bench type, picnic table type setup and stuff. They have QR codes that you can scan to order, and then someone will deliver it to you. The bar is pretty long on the inside as well. It's 2 stories, so you can sit upstairs as well. It's a really cool setup that they have down there.
Yep.
So I really enjoy it. Hofbrauhaus is a very intriguing matchup to me because I'll be honest, I would go to Hofbrauhaus maybe once or twice a year. I would never go out of my way to go to Hofbrau just because it is expensive. But in fairness, you do get a lot for what you pay for with like just the giant ass steins that you get. So it's an interesting matchup to me, but I personally lean towards Aslan just because like I think while it is the newer one, there's just something about the aesthetic that's just like really cool
You didn't,
and really welcoming.
You didn't, and I appreciated it. It's Aslan. You didn't need all that.
Yeah. Well, I had to describe it because he's never been to Aslan, so.
100%, but you got to show him it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah, 100%. When you go
Good
to
beer,
the Strip,
QR code purchase, Josh. Well painted, good lighting, good part of the city. Doesn't feel like a dinosaur.
No, they don't. I don't think they have food, but like there's like plenty of food options you can get in the Strip District anyway, so it's not that big of a deal.
Okay. Well, that was over.
I think this next one's gonna be fast too.
Yeah.
Next one. Oh, Burgers Brewing versus Volume, which everybody's jerking off Volume, right?
Yep.
Hear me. Just for the sake of conversation, like Burgers is at least kind of interesting because like they're expanding in the way that I never thought they would. It's weird. Like they still have their location in Zelienople. They still have their location in Lawrenceville. They just added a small location at the High Line, and they're putting a production facility in Millville. Like, they're getting bigger. But what's weird about Burgers is, like, again, I can't necessarily think off the top of my head of a beer that, like, I gravitate towards Burgers. And again, I also don't see Burger stuff at distributors or anything while I'm in Pittsburgh. But when I first went to Volume, when Ping asked me to
Yeah.
go, and I look at that place, my mind was just blown by how big that place is. So, and the beer was very good too. I was expecting them to be like they got like a steal on a spot or something, and then the beer wasn't gonna be that good. No, the beer was very good. Like they had some very good options there. Well, at the time I went, so to me, it's Balloon. It's gotta be.
Josh? Any
Well, I like
preference?
Pokemon. So Gloom
Oh, that's not hard.
is the one that I want to win.
Not what I was thinking, but okay.
Okay. I mean, they're winning.
They are.
Here's the difference. Burgers, really cool. Feels kind of like a fast food joint when you
It
get
does.
in,
It
like a
does.
line for it. They were the first Pittsburgh brewery I saw that had Black is Beautiful.
Oh, that's right. That's true. And
Black
also
is-
Mars did a collaboration with them for
Yep.
Barrel Fest like a couple years ago too. Yeah.
Black is Beautiful, Josh, was a beer.
I know
out
what
of-
that is.
Yep. It's yeah, they had it in it. Nothing they could do would come close. My issues with Volume are as stands, and I listed these out. Actually, Josh, if you guys would humor me, I would love to I would love to find it really quickly, actually, because
Okay.
to me, Ping fights for it because he lives in the South Side.
And
that's-
and full disclosure,
Yeah.
if any of us lived next to a brewery within like walking distance for it, we would probably also feel the same way.
Yeah.
I would imagine. You know.
Well, that was New Amsterdam in the bar one for me, and then you said that the one that starts with an L that's in Lawrenceville. It's like I just had it pulled up. Hang on.
11th hour.
No,
Oh, Lola, yeah.
Lolo, yeah.
is literally walking.
Right. So like,
Yeah.
if you still lived, if you still lived in Lawrenceville, I would bet you would have like, not a hard on, but like I feel like you would push proudly for Lola in that case.
So Greg and I were basically defending just like the thing of this, and Ping was doing a good job of discussing with Greg like the things, and so I said, "Is this about Cinderlands not winning or Valoom?" And so Ping was like, "I'm hyper focused." So here's the texts I sent. Their location is a bit off the beaten path.
It is.
How it's used, it's weird. You have to go through the whole building to get a beer. I don't like they don't really have bar seating, and that's a big one for me. The food cooking outside draws people in, but it can be off-putting. Their beer is great. I love how they use the space in general. Beautiful humans as the owner and the other patrons and the cooking crew, and I love the open air concept.
Oh yeah, the owner gave us like free pastries from like a wedding
Yeah.
we were at as well. She was great. She was,
My
she was the mother of
issue
the owner actually, if I remember correctly.
With Valoom, Josh, is you go up a shipping yard thing. So it's very, if you ever come here, it's very close
Oh,
to
I know
Escalade.
where this is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so
Oh.
the whole area, the whole shipping area inside, the left side is all brewing, the right side is tables and pickleball courts and an arcade, which is awesome. But then you have to walk along this chain link fence through the brewing for a while and then up, and then you go through a doorway. And in there are tables, 2-person and 4-person booths, and maybe 5 to 8 bar seats and the bar. That's the only way you can get beer.
Oh.
There's no secondary bar
Yeah.
from what I remember. There's nothing. So it's like they did exactly what they had to do there. My reason for it not being in the S tier is because I've only been there twice and I adored both times, but it just wasn't there either time. I'm excited to go back. I
Mhm.
hope it's there. And for
It
me,
will be there,
they
yes.
absolutely no, but I hope it's there in the S tier.
Oh, okay. I got you.
They swipe the floor with burgers.
Yes. I pointed this out to Ping. One of the things that I hope that they do eventually, I don't know how, if they can add tap service for the outdoor seating, that would go a long
Yep.
way in my opinion.
Yep.
That would be huge.
Okay. East End versus Helltown. There's another fucking forefather.
Helltown? Okay. I'll give you that. I will definitely give you that.
Helltown's a
Okay.
forefather?
While you were in the bathroom,
Yeah.
Greg called Church Brew Works a forefather of craft beer in Pittsburgh, and I took umbrage with that.
Yeah, didn't necessarily take umbrage. You just kind of like
Dolores.
you said that there were like others that were ahead of it, which is fair. I'm just saying like it was.
And you think
it was-
Helltown is more than Church Brew Works in terms of the craft beer scene in Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Huh.
I think name recognition, distribution, and then back to what you said about like the community. I'll take Helltown. Helltown came in and saved Rivertown. Helltown opened
did.
up. You know, like Church Brewworks has just. I thought your description of it was perfect. They have their little spot. They know you're
Yep.
gonna fucking come, and
Yep.
you know that your mom's gonna pick up the tab.
For me with this one, East End is high because of the Big Hop, because of one time there, and because I was friends with an old
Yeah.
chef, and that was probably 10 years ago.
Oh, the neighborhood
I-
series I think was a great idea. on
The
their part,
neighborhood
too.
series was tremendous.
Yeah, it was such a cool idea.
That being said, we have the first upset Derek is voting for. Give me Helltown.
Really? Wow.
Here's why. East End, neighborhood series is great. I think they have a good location they build off of. Helltown has fought and scrapped their way into the Pittsburgh beer scene. They have a great location in the Strip now that they do own. Granted, they don't brew there, but it's there. For me, if I'm thinking about beers I can name, it's Helltown. If I'm thinking about what you said previously, Greg, which is how does it span in terms of the variety of beer, it's Helltown.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a knock on East End. I think it's a probably just a Derek sentiment thing.
Yeah.
But I think if you played this game 10 times, I think it goes 6 East End, 4 Helltown, and
It's
today just
closer.
happens to be one of the 4s.
It's closer than you think.
Yep.
It should be. Yeah.
So my vote's Helltown.
I have never been to the original Helltown location in Mount Pleasant. I've only been to the satellite.
It's small.
Is it? Okay.
It's just a brew. Like they brew beer there, and then they distribute out of there.
Which in
and there's a
fairness,
small bar.
which in fairness, I have nothing wrong with. Well,
No,
some
yeah.
of the best brew pubs are usually the small ones. And in full disclosure on that one.
Real quick, Dre just texted our group and said, "Who's Darius Robinson?" I've only seen one mock with this dude.
He's the edge from Missouri.
Well,
right?
so you know, Josh, Darius Robinson had arguably the greatest pro day this year. For a
Oh, the
guy
guy
like
who-
Dre,
Okay.
but for a guy like Dre to say who is Darius Robinson is
Oh,
crazy.
I literally knew it right off the get go, like just now, and he has no idea. Why is he in our group chat exactly?
Well,
Wow.
you know, he
Just
also
saying, just
texted me
saying.
this morning and told me he texts with Tony Khan regularly.
Yeah, he's
He does not do
he's
that.
he's got charisma, all right. Full disclosure with East End, I've only been there maybe once in my life. I it was an okay setup. Big Hop. Even if you go, I will even say like I would never drink it, but I think the pickle beer was at least kind of a cool idea that they did for a collab. I think that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think the neighborhood series was a phenomenal idea to create one for each neighborhood in Pittsburgh, and then use some sort of building or some sort of business like within the area to get people to come together
Agreed.
and have it. I thought that was such a cool idea. I like the concept of East End Chewing, which is like the restaurant area there. So, to me, I have to lean towards East End because if I voted for Church Brewers because of the history aspect of it, I kind of have to do the same for East End in that aspect, just because of the fact that like it's been such a mainstay and they've had consistency ever since then. The only problem I have is I would never go out of my way to go to East End Brewery. Is the only issue I have, because parking is also a bitch there. It's like in a side street of Larimer
So
to go
we've gotten to a Josh finishing it
there.
territory.
We have.
I don't like this.
Forces you
Walk
to
it.
make
Walk us
decisions.
through it.
Yeah.
Okay. Helltown to me.
Yep.
Mischievous Brown Ale
Mhm.
to me, like are so important.
Right.
But it's to me.
They're also the only brewery that I know of that uses the exact same labeling for all of their beers, which I find crazy.
I will say that
Yep.
the neighborhoods was so cool. Loved it. I would say that East End deserves that like forefather spot. They're a blue blood.
They are a blue blood. You're
They
right.
very much are.
Mhm.
and I also have a super special attachment to them because of what they've done for the bicycle community in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Yeah,
The
that's
keg
that's
ride
good.
100% agree.
This epic, always couldn't miss it.
100%.
So it's like a me or like the greater than thing.
Okay.
And like Derek voted with his heart, and you voted with the greater than. So that doesn't fucking help me either.
Right.
Goddamn.
In the end of it, Josh, if I put a Helltown beer in front of you and a East End beer in
I
front of you,
pick Helltown.
I think that's the call then for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's whoever
East End's
wins
the
this
weakest
matchup.
one seed.
East End, you know what? That's a fair point. East End is absolutely
the weakest
one
one seed. Oh
Yes.
yeah, Grist House is the other one.
I mean, Grist, Cinderlands,
Grist
Trace,
House,
yes.
Grist House, Cinderlands, and Trace are absolutely heavy hitters. East End is there for notoriety, but I think it is the weakest one seed. That's completely fair.
Okay, they're
All right.
Villanova.
They're Villanova. Wow.
I mean, it doesn't matter because this is a tough corner.
You think this is a tough corner?
It's a tough corner for us to decide.
Cause like it feels like they're an Elite Eight team. Whoever won that matchup.
I don't.
Okay.
I announce the next one and I'll describe why.
Okay, Adjuration. I fucked that up.
Ab.
Thank you, Abjuration.
Yep.
And then Slippery Rock Zone, North Country Brewing.
These are like these are so like opposite
Polar
ends
opposites.
Oh, they're polar opposites.
One's scientists and one's used to be called the pub.
Yes, it is so wild to me. This one.
Abjuration Brewing, though, has really, really has maybe the best beer of all time.
But here's the thing about it.
For
though,
Derek.
Jake. But here's the
Okay.
thing.
Go for it.
They will. I guarantee you, they do not still have it or make it.
But that doesn't matter to me.
That would
The
matter to me.
consistent pump out of Bucko Blonde Ale
Okay.
does not override the fact that Abjuration Brewing's Pineapple Sage Sour was
Oh,
probably the
that's right.
greatest
That
single
was
beer
really
I've
good.
ever
It
had.
was, but I'm also going to point out again. You will probably never get a chance to have it.
I mean, yeah, sure, Greg. And Brandon Jennings scored 60 his rookie year. Like,
they peaked.
he's still in the league. He's still better than a guy that just mails it in.
Right, I'll give you that.
I mean, name one other beer from North Country aside from Bucko Blonde.
Firehouse Red.
It's not a bad beer.
Buck,
My entire
Buck
Stout.
That was what mine was gonna be.
Boom.
Hey, if I go out here because you two love Slippery Rock area, that's totally fine. Abjuration Brewing are the most scientific approach to it. Their venue, Josh, have you ever been?
No. You guys
The
have brought me
location-
beer from them.
It's an old movie theater where they
Right.
just continuously rerun movies. They have pictures on the wall of stormtroopers in
Yeah.
World War II.
It's pretty cool.
So like the AT-AT walkers are tanks and the stormtroopers are running through Germany. Like it's the craziest this is what life is in a cinema world thing. And next door is a pizza place.
It is.
You think Gary remembers your name? No, but he remembers your exact fucking order and brings you over your pizza. All the beers are served in beakers. It is,
that
to
was
me-
really cool. That was really
It was
cool.
on one of our first review days. North Country, I just don't give a shit about. Abjuration cleans the fucking clock out of them. Abjuration, I mean, yeah, okay. I can't read what's fighting Strange Roots in the first round, but I think it's Dancing Gnome. For me personally, this corner is extremely tough in its
Yeah.
Abjuration.
Dancing Gnome is that
Thank
one.
you.
Okay, so, and full disclosure, I did love Abjuration when we went. Like it's such a cool environment. The beakers were awesome. The pineapple sage was really good. I had some sort of like chocolate milkshake like stout that was the most chocolatey beer I've ever had in my life, next to Chocolate Meltdown from Penn, and it was fucking delicious. And I don't get like their canned stuff often, but I had like the chocolate like ghost pepper beer from them once.
Yes.
And the cover on it is just literally a pepper with a ghost sheet on it. Was one of the funnest designs I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
For a beer can. I love it. And also, in terms of branding, I love how for all of them they have a different like logo design for it, but it's the exact same style of like the black background with like a version like 1.1.1 whatever. Like they are very scientific about it. And if you
Yeah.
go on their website, the list of stuff they've made is incredible.
Yeah.
To me, North Country is the first craft beer spot I remember in my lifetime because I went to Slip. So I am biased in that.
It wasn't
sense.
North Country back then.
Yes, you're right. I do remember it being the pub.
It was the pub.
It was the pub, yes. I also bowled with some of the brewers from North Country, and I remember them bringing beer to some of those nights as well. So I've gotten drunk off of them many times while I was trying to bowl, and it was very difficult. But
Well,
some
getting
of it-
sober off beer would be weird.
Yes, it was. But Firehouse Red is a perfect amber ale to me. Bucko Blonde is delicious. There's just something to be said to me about consistency with what they do and the fact that they have still been able to provide.
Is Slippery Rock a Pittsburgh? If Butler
That's
is,
that's a great point, Deke. Because of the fact that we included Butler and there was a talk about that, North Country also falls into that category, but you can still get North Country beer very easily at almost any Pittsburgh distributor.
Josh, can you get Butler beer in Pittsburgh?
My whole thing is we put down Butler Brew Works because it's not a Pittsburgh brewery.
Okay.
And
Abjuration is technically McKees Rocks, so
that's way fucking
Are you
closer than
fucking
Slippery
kidding
Rock.
me?
I
Greg?
was just being technical. Just saying.
That is Pittsburgh. McKees Rocks is Pittsburgh.
You go tell somebody from McKees Rocks they're
They're
not from
not
Pittsburgh.
from
I really
They'll
don't.
whip your
No,
ass.
I really
tell
don't
him,
want to. I'd
Tell
be
him. Go
terrified
down to
to
the
do that.
Roxy and
You want
watch
me to call-
fucking the Clarks play and tell me that's not Pittsburgh.
You telling me Doughboys ain't fucking Pittsburgh?
This fucking clown.
All right, I'm moving now.
I was being technical. I'm sorry.
Josh,
Abjuration.
I'm surprised you picked Abjuration.
I-
But in defense of Butler Brew Works is what it feels like.
That's why. I.
Oh no! Like if you're like back to the Helltown, like you put one or the other in front of me, I'm picking up the fucking North Country beer because like
Pineapple Sage Sour.
Yeah. And it's
I
gonna
get
be
it.
it's gonna be
Okay,
something
just
wild. It's gonna be something wild, but it's gonna be delicious as hell, probably.
Wait, you're picking up the North Country beer?
yeah.
So you think they win?
No, they're not a Pittsburgh brewery.
Okay. All right. Touche.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on. This next one should be easy.
Okay. Next one. Oh, Strange Roots Dancing Gnome.
Okay.
Yep.
hang-
I have no
This isn't
conversation.
even
It's
close.
Dancing Gnome. It's
I-
not.
You know what?
Dancing. It's
yeah.
Dancing Gnome.
No. To me, it's Dancing Gnome too.
They're the Yukon of this tournament.
Strange Roots. Strange,
They win everything by 40.
They're gonna fucking
strange,
roll.
strange Roots is like you need to be in a particular mood to have Strange Roots.
No, you
They're
don't. You don't
funky.
need to be in any mood.
They're
Here's what I'll say. Do you know what mood you have to be in to go to Dancing Gnome?
what?
Don't fucking matter. You're going.
Yeah.
Like
Thirsty.
it's not even. Yeah, thirsty. Yes,
Yeah.
thirsty.
You did. I will say this with Dancing Gnome, Deke. You did have a lower score on Dancing Gnome's new spot than I expected, but you
No,
have
I had a
reason.
lower score on the asterisk,
Yes.
and then I went to the new spot, and I
Mhm.
only have a few issues. Granted, I was in a knee brace. What were my issues with it, Greg?
It was the people that was the big one for you. if I
It's
remember
just
correctly, yeah.
douchey, beer-friendly people, and I don't love that. No, I don't even care about anything, but like I just didn't love the vibe of it, and it's not their fault.
In fairness,
But
we
but
did.
that is
Me and you
what
did
I
go
do.
on Black Friday, so it was kind of like a weird
100%.
day. It was a weird day. I'll give you that. Yeah.
Here's my big problem with Strange Roots. They're not even the best brewery that's been in that location.
Dry Log was better.
Yes.
They're the same.
Okay.
It's the
I
same.
never had Dry
It was
Log.
the same people.
No, it's way better.
They rebranded. That's the whole reason.
No, it's
Yeah.
way
Here's
better.
what? Yeah, I don't know if I agree. Dancing Gnome's gonna dance, if you will.
Right. Like Drylog specialized in Belgian like triples and shit like that, and Strange.
Yeah, and
Roots.
dry log was sour or ciders.
Strange Roots is also like the sour.
This,
yeah.
This next one makes me sad.
Okay, next one.
Catherine, come in here. I gotta open a
Uh-oh.
bottle of wine real quick. She broke the cork off.
No.
Come here. Come here.
Debut.
I know.
No, wait.
Give me the wine. It's not me. It's you did not figure it out. Let me see.
Just push it the whole way through.
I'm gonna come back. There's gonna be a fucking knife in it.
No, that's terrifying.
Debut.
How? Why would I have seen? Let me see. Why'd you bring your food?
She was still hungry. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Yeah, that's fair.
How'd you get it up?
Oh, no debut.
Aw.
She stayed right outside that camera.
Nah, she's.
That's good. Oh,
Oh,
it was open. Bean says hi.
did it like squeak through a little bit with the wine, or?
What are you eating? She doesn't have makeup on, so she doesn't want to do anything.
I think that-
Come on, we're not gonna.
Hang on, time out. Is she real?
Is she real?
Have
Wow.
all these pictures
They don't
been
think it's
AI
real.
girlfriends?
Hang on. I'm meeting her next
No.
weekend, so technically I have to assume she's real. So.
Nobody's
Oh.
watching.
Oh,
Come here.
is that he does that to Bean though too?
It's very-
See, look, Bean got out of bed.
What up, Bean?
Nope, it
No,
ain't happening.
you're
You're
getting
pushing your
denied.
luck now.
You're getting denied, my guy.
This is so much worse.
This is just a fun like snippet right there.
Oh!
Ah!
Oh! She's real.
She is real.
That wasn't a dog.
That was not a dog. Can
No.
Thank
confirm.
you. Was that so terrible to kiss your boyfriend?
Yes,
Yeah.
She shut.
I
the door.
wouldn't kiss you.
Aw.
Greg would kiss you.
Depends.
Greg's never.
You have kissed him.
What?
Not on the mouth, but
When?
Yeah, why not on the mouth?
I don't know. Rough day, probably.
I am really upset by this next one because it's voodoo.
What are you
What?
talking about? Why are you
I
upset?
love Cobble House.
Oh,
Okay.
Gosh,
Okay.
Cobble House is. It feels like it's a shopping mall. It's this little German pub-looking place.
It's deceptively huge, too.
Oh, dude, it's long. I took a long
Deceptively
video.
huge. Like, it's wild. Like,
Sure.
I
That's
remember,
great.
I remember trying to go to the bathroom there, and the amount of doors I had to pass to get there was insane.
Yeah.
That's so cute. I love your little story about this little insignificant fucking what seed are they? 7 seed that
They're
nobody
a
gives a
German
fuck
pub.
about.
They were but they were on the first day. They were with
They were.
Abjuration, and they were
Yeah. They were the second brewery we did a review on, actually, if I remember correctly.
That's great.
Yeah.
You know what? And some people love oral.
Do you?
I don't.
What?
Some
the
people
fuck?
love Kansas State. That's great. So happy for you. And
I was not ready for that.
where was homeboy who could only shoot threes from this year?
Jimmer was from BYU.
Oh no, he's talking
No.
about Oakland, the dude that like shot the lights out of Kentucky.
Yeah, the guy that took down Connecticut.
Oh, the
No,
guy
the
that's
guy
on
took out
tax.
Kentucky.
The guy that forced Cal to leave Kentucky. Yeah.
Yeah,
he's
that
on
guy.
Tax evaders now.
Yeah.
He was a 24-year-old playing against 19-year-olds. That's
Yeah, it
not
was
fair.
cool. It was fun. We all had fun.
Yeah. Fine.
Yeah, you had fun at Cobble, and then you played Voodoo. That's what are we doing here?
Oh my god.
I mean, yeah, it's not a discussion, but Cobble
Now
House.
the
is-
next
you
round-
should check out Cobble.
But
House.
Cobble House is
Okay.
a cool spot. Yes, it's in Coriopolis. It's like within driving distance from Neville.
That's not Pittsburgh.
Oh, fuck off. If McKees Rocks is in Pittsburgh, then Coriopolis is in Pittsburgh.
McKees
Dude,
Rocks is way
McKees
closer.
Rocks is so fucking Pittsburgh, you clown.
It's all Pittsburgh.
McKees Rocks is closer than Greenfield.
Yeah.
What? Greenfield's in Pittsburgh.
So is McKees Rocks,
No,
you
it's
clown.
not. McKees Rocks is not a part of Pittsburgh. It's its own.
That was not the C
borough.
word I thought Derek was going to say. You can tell Cat is there.
You fucking buffoon.
Okay.
Do they have blue street signs?
They do not.
Yes, they do. McKees
What?
Rocks does.
No,
yes,
they
do.
don't.
do.
No
You
way.
can't tell me that, like, Mama Leona's isn't fucking Pittsburgh.
McKees Rocks is not a part of Pittsburgh. It's its own borough. I guarantee
Okay,
it.
fine.
Greenfield's
Suck it,
not a
Dick.
borough.
Greenfield is part of Pittsburgh.
It is part of
So is
Pittsburgh.
McKees Rocks.
No, it's
So-
not.
He's technically
Yeah, it
he's
is.
right because Pittsburgh goes east, not west.
No, but he's
Mc-
not right. You know what I mean?
No, but like,
So is the casino not in Pittsburgh?
right.
The casino is in Pittsburgh.
No, I don't think
Wait.
it is. I think Pittsburgh
North,
goes east.
are we talking
so-
about North Shore?
North Shore is Pittsburgh.
Oh.
I don't think the casino's Pittsburgh
Yes, it is.
because it touches the McKees Rocks Bridge.
No.
Tell my parents that the Science Center's not in Pittsburgh.
The Science Center is in Pittsburgh.
It's not in
100%
Pittsburgh.
Is.
It goes east.
McKees Rocks is not Pittsburgh. It's its own borough.
He's right. McKees Rocks.
Oh, so Pittsburgh's a
Pennsylvania.
borough and not a city?
Oh my god.
What a fucking clown show,
Jesus
Josh.
fucking Christ.
Pittsburgh's a borough.
I think he's right though.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the.
Yeah, but Josh, it doesn't
legality of
matter
it.
because he's a douchebag.
I'm not a douchebag. We're getting into like
Is Southside a borough?
it's a neighborhood.
Hey, actually, Greenfield might be East Pittsburgh.
It is. It is.
So that's
So
not
it's not
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
no, yes,
That's
it is.
East Pittsburgh.
No, it's not. That's
According
East
to this
Pittsburgh.
map, that is not
No,
Pittsburgh.
East
Greensfield
Pittsburgh.
is-
East
no.
Pittsburgh is fucking like McKeesport and shit like that, which is also its
No,
own borough.
Greenfield is East Pittsburgh.
No, Greenfield is 100% a part of Pittsburgh. I can guarantee
East.
it. It's next to fucking Hazelwood and Lincoln
Which
Place
is
and Squirrel
east.
Hill. It is
Greenfield
a
is
part of
Pittsburgh, PA.
Thank you.
East.
Yes, the east side of Pittsburgh.
Well,
It's
now
not
hang
East
on.
Pittsburgh.
This map says that McKees Rocks is.
Look at this map.
What? Oh, come on, you're using Wikipedia.
What?
What the fuck, Greg?
Greg, pick it. Either it is or it isn't.
I'm gonna make him sleep on the floor.
It's a stupid.
Floor's comfortable, in fairness. If you make me sleep off of the carpet, then we
All
might
right.
have an issue.
Eastern Nazi.
We have like 10 minutes left in the show. What do you want to do? Both sides of the bracket are even now, as far as like how far we've advanced.
Yeah, we can wait on the bracket.
Could go back. To we
well-
could finish up like another round of the bar bracket, just because we haven't touched that in a week.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's
We
do
have
it.
time for that.
Yeah.
That one will be quick. No discussion, just voting. The other thing though is next week is pretty much all. We don't have to do all, but
All
pretty much
draft.
all draft.
It
Yeah.
is all draft talk, baby, and I'm assuming we are having the one
Austin will
only,
be on.
the professor of drafting.
Yeah,
Are we
actually.
doing-
Oh, shit, I gotta reach out to Kurt.
Are we doing the show from Detroit?
Nope, you
Nope.
said we weren't.
Oh, but then I went back on that, but okay.
Yep, but it doesn't matter.
We are.
Okay.
We are. It is a mini vacation for us, my guy. That's what I'm considering it as.
Okay, I'm just gonna start firing off because we're kind of all over on this thing. First matchup, we already talked about what this place means as a brewery, but this is the bar bracket.
We do have to clarify on that one. Yes.
Tequila Cowboy versus Southern Tier.
Did we describe this as any way, shape, or form of like what we're aiming for, or is it just the bars we'd go to?
It's
It's about. We just kept repeating. It's about the
It's
bar.
about the bar,
That was what
which
we
I
just
believe
kept
you started, by the way. Just
All right.
It's about
Tequila
the
Cowboy.
bar.
Tequila Cowboy. It's got more bars
It does have physically more bars.
Physically, it is true.
and physically better bars. If no one was in there and you looked at Tequila Cowboy, all you would see is possibility. It just sucks that it's filled with the douchiest fake country fucks in the family.
Oh god. I would also say too, like if it was during the daytime, like and I'm pre-gaming before like a Pirate or Steelers game, I have nothing wrong with Tequila Cowboy. I
Okay,
don't.
Tequila Cowboy wins.
I have nothing wrong with it. If it's the night,
Sorry,
I
Josh.
want to avoid the fuck out of it. But
Okay.
I would say Tequila Cowboy, unfortunately, if we're going that route.
Shady Grove versus the Warren. That's a tough one.
Warren,
Mm,
late night sushi, premier cocktails, mini pony bottles of Miller High Life, the
It's
wine
about
bar. Yeah, the bar's great. Makes you feel like you're in New York. Shady Grove, kind of a restaurant.
Josh, you vote because like I need some time on this one.
Say Shady Grove.
I'm a Grove guy.
Put him in a box. All right, Greg,
Yeah.
you're up.
Come on, tough guy.
Oh, you know what? For this one,
About the bar.
I'm gonna say Shady Grove.
You fucking coward.
I'm saying Shady Grove. I'm sorry. I'm going that route.
Okay. Goldmark Penn Tavern.
Goldmark, not close.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, did you vote Goldmark too?
Yeah.
Okay.
The whole world did. Come on now.
Oh, Fine. All right.
I'm
Greg,
gonna save that
in
one.
the defense of the gold mark, they have done more for you than you've done for them.
True.
I've only been there once.
Yeah, and you're welcome.
Okay.
Fair enough.
McFadden's versus Coop.
Oh, it
man.
smells like
Good one.
douche.
Smells like
Oh,
McFadden's.
Hear me out, guys. The bar at Coop sucks ass.
That's what it's about, the bar!
It does.
The bar at Coupe de Ville is one of the worst bars I've ever seen in the history of the world because they have a rope to tell you where to go to order, and it's not just a come up bar. The place is great. McFadden's bar is where memories are made and birthdays are half off shots.
You are not from Pittsburgh if you ain't been kicked out of McFadden's. Okay. Ooh. Squirrel Hill Sports Bar versus the
None of
pride
us
and
have been
joy
to.
of Lawrenceville, New Amsterdam.
New Am.
New Am.
Now that Josh
Oh,
knows
whew.
what bar New Am is, it's New Am.
Now that Josh remembered where he was from.
He said, "I fucking hate that place." Oh, it's
Yeah.
oh no. I
Oh,
love
it's
New Am.
that bar. Okay.
This is Mario Shadyside
Okay.
versus City Works.
I'm City
Works came off a big win in the last round against Jax.
It did.
You guys know my pick. CityWorks has all of the TVs. It's Marsha's
Yep.
favorite place to get food, consistent food, great beers. None of them taste bad. I'm CityWorks.
I've had a good place at one of these locations, and I've had a number of good times at this other location. One great time at one location, good times at the other one. Multiple.
This one's tough. I've been to the Mario's and Shadyside a few times. I've never
Yeah.
had a bad time there. But CityWorks, I don't know why. Like I distinctly remember a few times going there after work and like having a good time, and the beer selection is awesome. Little overpriced at times. But I think if I had to choose between going to one or the other, I'd probably lean towards CityWorks actually.
City Works gave us a place to go after Six Pen closed.
Yeah.
It did. That's very fair. It absolutely did. It was one of the first like restaurants / bars that were open on like the bottom floors of the PPG plazas
Yep.
Yeah.
areas and stuff.
And,
so yeah,
and
that's
it's
fair.
still there today.
It's still there, which is impressive. It's really cool.
Mike's Beer Bar and Hofbrau House.
Mike's Beer Barn.
Mike's Beer Bar, easily. The beer selection alone is awesome. I remember the one time I went there on like the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and they had all the beers from like a dessert festival that was being held at a place in Lawrenceville. They just kept them on tap, and it was awesome. Like, they
And
get all the leftovers essentially.
the final one for this round. I think Greg is going to have to pick. Because it's Redbeards versus Belvedere's.
Which
Which
Red
were
Beards?
downtown?
Yeah.
Yeah, Greg, pick.
Red Beards downtown versus Belvedere's. There are definitely times where going to Belvedere's can be a lot. Because it can,
Sure.
it can definitely be excessive at times.
So can Redbeards on a Pirates game day?
To a degree, yes. To a degree.
Keep in mind, Greg, that one of us is not talking or swaying, and just allowing you to do.
I enjoy. I've definitely been to Redbeards multiple times. Reasonably priced drinks. It's a very good pre or post game spot, actually. I think I remember being there actually the night that Ronda Rousey got knocked the fuck out by Holly Holm, if I remember correctly. I don't know why. I appreciate Belvedere's for what it is. However, the last time I was at Belvedere's was their version of a pop punk night, and they had a DJ mixing in like techno type like beats and dance music to go with it, and I was disgusted by it. So for that reason, I think I'm gonna say Redbeards.
Josh.
That's for you.
Fair enough. I
That's
deserve
for
it.
you.
I deserve it.
If it's about the bar,
I think
it's Redbeards.
I still say Redbeards. Yeah, I can sit up at the bar and I can still enjoy myself.
Why? Because you gotta wait 10 minutes to get a beer at Belvedere's, and they only have PBR.
I do love me some good PBR. Just saying. PBR has
Fuck
never
you.
PBR has never steered me wrong. Just
They
saying.
only have PBR.
PBR has never steered me wrong.
All right, say goodnight. Fucking
Shut up,
Derek.
Bakersfield.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Good show. Bye. Fuck off.
Okay,
Oh, wow.
that's
Thanks.
fair. Oh, okay, great. Okay, bye. Fuck off. All right, bye, everybody.
Bye.